Traffic safety in Nevada is important to all of us, whether we live in the southern, central, or northern section of the state. Although the traffic problems in Las Vegas cannot be compared to those in Fallon, the solutions oftentimes can be shared by both. That's why the Nevada Department of Public Safety hosted the 2010 Traffic Safety Summit, which was held in Reno, Nevada. It brought together all of the traffic safety stakeholders in the state and allowed them to compare problems and solutions and set goals for the upcoming year. Metro Traffic, along with other law enforcement agencies, attended the summit, which also included traffic engineers, data analysts, and trauma surgeons. They're all part of the 4 E's of traffic safety: enforcement, engineering, education, and emergency medical services.
So you'll see today here in this venue, you'll see engineers, you'll see medical technicians, you'll see regional transportation agency representatives, highway safety folks, as well as engineers from the Department of Transportation interacting with our law enforcement officers from just about virtually every county in this state.
Now, our end of it, from the traffic end of it, is enforcement, of course, but we've got to meet with everybody in order to find out what the problems are throughout the state. Now, we just had a briefing on data information, which is put together by the state NDOTs. And they related several things on how they take the information which police officers give, in their accident reports on NHP5s. They compile it, they find out where major accidents are occurring. They take that information, they go out and they work on whatever the problem is from an engineering standpoint. So you've already taken the enforcement parts, the engineering parts, the education. Is a lot of it has to do with when they've corrected something. One of the things they had was a visibility issue with some people couldn't see around a guardrail, so they removed the guardrail and made it flat, and there's less accidents at that intersection. Now the accident part gets into the EMS. Well, when there is the accident, that's when emergency medical services get out there.
I would say the data is extremely important, because otherwise we're looking at a case by case, but then we can look overall and say, the opportunities for improvement are here, or we have this piece of legislation. And I'll say that I would agree with one of the speakers on primary seatbelt laws. If we looked at the number of people who could be saved by being restrained, it's a phenomenal amount. We can also look at the cost of medical care for someone who is restrained versus not restrained, someone who is drinking and driving versus someone who wasn't, who is the same circumstances of the crash, same speed, raining, not raining, snow, no snow, and you can actually compare. And that's part of what we're attempting to do. Many of those people end up being burdens of the state, if you will. And as we're taking a close look at the cost of medical care in our state and in our country, that is not a small sum of money.
The new trend nowadays, of course, is with distracted driving, the texting while driving. We encourage hands-free cell phone usage. We'll be presenting a bill to the legislature this year, which will require hands-free usage of cell phones, no text messaging, primary seatbelt laws. Those things in the enforcement arena are very important, but we can't forget the engineering aspect of highway safety. As the governor's representative to the National Highway Safety Administration, I know that the improvements that we've made in the engineering for vehicles, the safety features that are mandatory now and voluntary by most vehicle manufacturers, things like seatbelt restraints, airbags, new technology which allows us to do hands-free communications. So there's a lot of facets to highway safety. All of those have been built into our strategic highway safety plan.
The summit closed by recognizing Metro and other agencies for their efforts throughout 2010. And everyone committed to do whatever it takes to keep Nevada roads the safest in the country.